Hello my crafty friends, this is Monica from Allsewpetite. Welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to draft a template for a connector like this in any size and any shape that you want. So depending on what width is your webbing or what size is your hardware, you'll be able to draft your own template to fit whatever you need. So if this is something you would like to learn, then keep on watching. To start, you're going to draw two lines that are perpendicular to each other. So they are at 90 degrees angle. Just like that. Those lines indicate the center points of our connector. Now you're going to take your webbing, the one that you want to use to make your strap, and measure the width. So my webbing is about 32 millimeters wide, and what I like to do is to add additional about 2 millimeters, that's an eighth of an inch, is on each side. As you can see here, my connector is just a little bit wider than my webbing. This means that I don't have to worry about the webbing showing on the sides. And if, for example, I wanted to use something like an edge coat to finish off those raw edges, that would give me a nice clean finish and slightly narrower edge. So that's what I like to do. So I'm going to add about 4 millimeters in total to the width of my webbing. So my webbing is 32 millimeters wide and I'm going to add 4 millimeters. So overall, I'm working with 36 millimeters. So I'm going to take this measurement and divide it by half. So that's 18 millimeters. So now I'm going to take that measurement, that 18 millimeters, and measure it on both sides of that vertical line. So 18 millimeters on one side, 18 millimeters on the other side. And next you can draw two parallel lines. Before we create any shaping to our connector, there are three different aspects that we need to consider. So here I have an example of the connector. And first you need to decide what sort of hardware are you going to use. So what size of swivel hook you're going to use to make your strap, because typically the size of your swivel hook will be smaller than the strap adjuster. That's why you are using this connector, so you can use different sizes of hardware. And the size of your swivel hook will dictate how wide is that middle portion. So here I have a swivel hook that is 18 millimeters wide, and here I have a swivel hook that is 25 millimeters wide. So that's why this shaping is slightly different. The second part is to decide how tall you want your connector to be. So again, if we look at our connector here, how long you want the overall connector to be. Do you want it really tall or do you want it really short and narrow? That is totally up to you. And lastly, you're going to decide on the shaping. Do you prefer more angular, sharp edges, or do you prefer more smooth, rounded edges? So once you decide what type of connector you want to draft, then you can start shaping your connector. So first, what we want to do is to create that bottleneck. I typically measure about 5 millimeters, that's a quarter of an inch, from that horizontal line in both directions. So I'm going to do that now. So 5 millimeters, I just draw a line, 5 millimeters on the other side, and draw a line. So next we're going to draw that bottleneck. So for the purpose of this lesson, let's say I'm going to use the 18 millimeters hardware. So I'm going to take that measurement, 18 millimeters, and divide it by 2. So that gives me 9 millimeters. So now I can take that measurement and draw a line from that center point. So I'm going to measure 9 millimeters on one side, draw a line, 9 millimeters on the other side, and draw a line. So this is our bottleneck. So next we can decide on the size, on the height of our connector. So let's say I want my connector to be 5 centimeters tall. So that's about 2 inches. So I'm going to measure that and draw a line. And lastly, all you need to do is to decide on the shaping. So I can start drawing those straight lines, something like this. So this is not part of my connector. This is not part of my connector. So I would have this sort of shape. And again, if I was making the connector, I would repeat the process on all 4 sides. So you would have all quadrants exactly the same. But for the purpose of this lesson, I'm going to show you that you can literally do whatever you want. So now I'm going to make more of a curved, smoother edge. So you're going to like draw some sort of curve. Here as well, I'm going to just round this corner slightly. So this would be my connector. So I would ignore all that part. So you would have something like this. Again, here, let's say I wanted really nice and round part. So I could make something like this. Or if you want just a simplicity, you can leave this corner as it is and just connect this to the side. This is just a starting point to show you how to even begin drafting your own template. So experiment, try different sizes, different shapes, see what you like, see what you don't like. And remember, you don't have to draft your templates symmetrical. If you like, let's say, this type of connector, this is a symmetrical connector, all you have to do is to draft the same shape on the other side. So this and this needs to be symmetrical because you are folding it in half. But from the right to left side, you can create whatever shape you want. So if you want like an angle here, or maybe like curve, or whatever you can think of, just experiment and try it. Now you know how to draft your own template. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this adjustable webbing strap. So see you in the next video. Stay crafty, friends!